Ran across a little bit of an oddity when I was doing my research for my last video on the market update. And since my Wednesday videos are just wildcard Wednesdays, I can talk about whatever I want, I thought I would cover this oddity about my hometown of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin in a separate video because the video would have been too long. So what's this juicy oddity I speak of? Well, out of 37 current active listings in Sun Prairie, there were 9 price drops, which seemed kind of odd to me because there's not a lot of price drops happening because the market is pretty strong. And we're going to go in the weeds with these numbers because it sort of makes sense and it sort of doesn't make sense. So we're going to go on this journey together. And I'm going to put these 9 in different batches, which will make sense while we go. Right off the bat, we're going to take 4 of these out of the 9 out of the equation because those were new construction homes and they were listed with a price and they weren't even completed yet. And so once they were complete or near complete, they lowered the price. And that's not that odd. So they're gone. So that leaves 5. Now there's another batch of 3, and you'll understand when I'm done talking about them why they're batched together. The least expensive of this batch of 3 is currently listed at $599,500, and it was originally listed at $645,000. So that was a price drop of $45,500, which is pretty significant. The median price listing of this batch of 3 is currently listed at $814,900, which was dropped down from the original price of $829,000, which is a much more modest price drop of $14,100. And the most expensive listing of this batch of 3 is currently priced at $899,700. And this one was originally listed at $949,900, which is also the biggest price drop at $50,200. Now, the reason I put these 3 together specifically out of the 5 is because they've all been on the market for the exact same amount of days, 33 days. What strikes me as odd is that all 3 of these houses in a super hot seller's market went 30 days, an entire month, without doing a price drop. And the 2 of them did humongous price drops after 30 days, but didn't do any price correction after a few weeks. I don't know what the situation of the sellers are. I don't know if any offers came in. None of these 3 were ever under contract. So the market was telling these sellers that this was not the right price. The market couldn't bear those prices. So therefore they were overpriced. To be completely transparent and fair, I did not tour any of these 3 houses on this list, nor have I seen the comparable market analysis that was done on these houses. But I do know the market told them their price was too high. For this market, for this moment in time, the price was too high. And for whatever reason, they all waited 30 days to react to lower the price. So the remaining 2 houses we'll cover separately. The next house I want to talk about is currently listed at $499,900 with an original listing price of $515,000 for a price drop of $15,100. Now look, $15,100 sounds pretty close to the $15,200 of the other one in the batch of 3. The difference is this one's only been on the market for 15 days. They realized after 15 days of no offers, they needed to lower the price. So they did a pretty decent price drop of $15,000. And just so you know, that helps the search algorithms in the MLS, the multiple listing service. It puts the home in new searches because people are searching in different price categories. And it just helps generate buzz. The marketing is going to be renewed, which is pretty vital when you're trying to sell your house. And finally, the last house I want to talk about is currently listed at $349,900 with an original list price of $364,900. Now this one did a pretty good price drop and then less of a good price drop. After 10 days without an offer, they lowered the price $10,000. Again, pretty good idea for the same reasons as the last one. But then they still didn't get an offer, and they waited 69 more days to drop it $5,000 more. Again, I don't know what the seller's situation is, but lowering the price after 10 days was a good idea. Waiting almost 70 days to lower it again, and then only lowering it half as much, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. It doesn't seem like it to me, but again, I don't have all the information. But I wanted to illustrate these 5 properties and look at the numbers and get into the weeds a little bit, because it is weird. This market is super hot for the sellers. Everything's selling. We say everything's selling, but in reality, not everything is selling. And I don't know if any of these houses had this problem, but I'm going to take a leap of faith and guess that maybe a couple of them at least are running up against this problem. But sellers are looking at these incredible prices that other sellers are getting for their homes, and they're wanting to list at that price, at that high price. And realtors should be telling their clients, hey, look, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this house sold for $500,000, but it was only listed at $475,000. It was the multiple offer. It was the bidding war that bumped the price up another $25,000. So therefore, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, that's what we should do. You want to get $500,000 for your house. This market is heavily in favor of the sellers. So when you have this value range, you're going to want to list it on the lower end of the value range. And the lower you are in your value range, the more likely you're going to get competition. But it's always the seller's choice. Maybe the realtor didn't give that advice. Maybe the realtor gave the advice and the seller didn't listen. Maybe the realtor gave the advice, the seller listened, and it just didn't work because those houses are in a higher price range. But I will say those first 3 I talked about did not react in a way that I would want my clients to react and that I would advise my clients to react in any market. They didn't react to what was actually happening in real time. And look, it's tough. You want to get a certain amount of money for your house. Sometimes you have to get a certain amount of money for your house. But it doesn't mean the market's going to pay. The market's going to pay what the market's going to pay. And it's so important to understand that. And yeah, you can just take your house off the market, but there's probably a reason you were selling it. Did the reason go away? And of course, there's always things you can do to help the sale of your house, namely change the condition of the house and change the price of the house. But other than that, you're at the mercy of the market. And yes, it's not hard to imagine that those first 3 houses that waited 30 days to do a price drop are a victim of their own success, if you will. $645,000, $829,000, and $949,900 are pretty good values for a house. Yes, you're probably going to have a smaller available pool of buyers, especially in this market, but you still have to follow the rules of the universe. You can't elevate yourself above the market. The market is the market. And if you take away nothing else from this video, I want you to remember that phrase. The market is the market. And you have to obey the rules of the market. When you hire us, you hire a good realtor, all we're doing is navigating the market. Some people give us a little too much credit and say, oh, realtors are ruining the market. They just want to make a bunch of money. And I can't speak for every realtor, but I can speak for my team. We're trying to help as many people buy and sell houses as possible. I personally think these inflated prices of houses today is ridiculous. But I will also repeat, the market is the market. The market makes the rules. The market sets the price. And just one more thing, people are buying and selling houses every single day. So it can be done. It is being done. If you need to sell your house and or find a new house, that's what we're here for. So please just reach out. The coolest part is it doesn't cost you any money. We get paid when we sell a house, and that's it. Everything else we do besides selling a house actually costs us money. And that's why I always say freedom isn't free, but information is. The information any realtor gives you is free. Sitting down and having a conversation about what your goals are is free. Me sending you a comparative market analysis of your home is free. Me setting you up on a search for neighborhoods that you might want to buy in someday is free. So there's no reason not to reach out to a realtor before you need the realtor. Let's start these conversations. Let's start making plans. Let's build this relationship. That way when you're ready to sell the house or buy a new house or invest in some properties, you're already ready already. And we're not starting at the ground level. Maybe we've already walked up 47 flights of stairs. And what do you think that'll do as far as giving you an advantage of whatever you're trying to do? I'd say give you a pretty good advantage. And what do you have to lose? And hey, I believe in putting my money where my mouth is. Here's my number. Just call it. We'll have a conversation. If you happen to not be in my area, I'll just hook you up with a realtor that is in your area and is good and does things the way I do. If you like me and trust me, I'll find someone that's like me to help you. It's too easy and too good not to do it. But hey, whether we ever work together or don't, I still appreciate you. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch some more, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more of these nuggets.